देंगे हम दुनिया हिला देंगे हम दुनिया हिला दे हम दुनिया हिला देंगे हम दुनिया हिला दे हम दुनिया हिला देंगे हम दुनिया हिला दे हम दुनिया हिला देंगे हम.
Mumbai, your team Mumbai has qualified for the playoffs. Not that often, but whenever they have, they've made it count. They've won 4 championships, and they have the best head-to-head advantage against the best team in the league. That's Chennai Super Kings. And Mumbai and Chennai have the top two thing anyway. Like it's the El Clasico of IPL. So relating to that, what is your preview of previous season? Like, what do you think of the squad last season, how they performed? And even though they won the championship, there were some places where they could have had improvements. So we'll discuss that, and also what are your expectations moving into the next season. Start with Nihar.
Sure. Yeah, I think, like you said, even though we won the IPL last season, it definitely was not a perfect season. And that is perfectly summed up by the finals, if you see it.
Yeah.
In the entire 40 overs, I think there were hardly the last 5-10 overs where Mumbai Indians had a chance. I think that's where they've lagged, is there not all the players have been consistent. I think especially in the batting department, where I think apart from de Kock, most of the players have been on and off here and there.
Right.
But I think one thing that stood out for them is they've had different players perform for them every game. Someone or the other has stepped up, be it Hardik Pandya, Krunal, or even Rahul Chahar. So they have had players all over stepping up and winning them games. So they've not, if you look at the records, they've hardly ever had more than one person in the purple cap list or the orange cap list.
Right.
So it's been Quinton de Kock, maybe Bumrah or Chahar this side. But apart from that, all of them have stepped up at one point or the other. And I think that's where the difference has been made with the other teams, is they've had such huge power players, such huge performers, that they always step up to the mark. And of course, they won 4 out of 5 finals, so they know how to play the big matches.
Yeah. Dishang?
Yeah.
I think it's classic Mumbai thing that they don't perform well in the start and then they take on that momentum and pressure and then they perform. You never know when the games will change. You never know when someone will perform suddenly, like out of nowhere, someone will like, it's my day, I'll just go for it.
Yeah.
So I think it's classic Bombay thing, Mumbai Indians, sorry, not Bombay. So yeah, and this season I think it will be same. They won't win the first game and then slowly they'll catch up and they will win semi-final. Hope so.
What do you guys think about the team this season? Because before we got on this call, me and Arhaan were talking about what a team that they have. And he was just mentioning, all these aspects. If you come to bowling, there's like a Bumrah and Trent Bolt. I mean, 8 overs, again, sorted like Arhaan was telling me.
Yeah.
Coming to batting, Quinton de Kock, there's Chris Lynn, Rohit Sharma, middle order, Polart, Krunal Pandya, Hardik Pandya. Your team just looks stacked right now. So what is your feeling about this current team going into this season?
Well balanced, I think. They have sorted all their departments very well, be it opening or middle order. They have someone, if someone gets injured or touchwood COVID or something, so they have a backup which is good enough. Like in middle order, if you see, they have Surya Kumar Yadav, who can bat at 4 and 5th. There's Aditya Tare, and there's one more, I think, who can play in the middle order.
Ishan Kishan.
I think Ishan Kishan is more of a opener. He'll play.
Top order batsman. 1, 2, 3.
One down.
Yeah, one down and opening. I feel Ishan Kishan is good there, not in the
lower order.
We have Chris Lynn also, who can play if they want explosive and like 4. If there's a good start by Rohit and the openers, then they can send in either Chris Lynn or Hardik Pandya. So it's well balanced, and bowler also. They have like almost, if you see, counting all-rounders and part-time bowlers, they have approximately 6 to 7 players who can bowl pretty good. Like not part-time also, but they can take wickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think to his point, Mumbai Indians are a very balanced team. But what they've done better this season is just build up on their strength. So they've Mayank Markandeya is obviously gone, but they've brought in Trent Bolt, they've brought in Rutherford. And what's that done is it's just build their side even more. If you look at it, in the batting, they've got Kristen, of course, which is a huge talent, and Trent Bolt. So they've got these two massive players in both departments, which can just walk into any side at any day. However, saying that, I think one problem they will face is the problem of plenty, because Christian, even though he's a great pick, might find it tough to get into the 11 given there's only
Yeah.
going to be 4 foreigners.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's one thing I think Mumbai need to figure out how they balance their side well and choose well. But yeah, I think if you look at it, I would say that they have the strongest team on paper by far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talking about that, we move on to the next segment. That's the ball game segment. So ball game is
Yeah.
basically my blog that I'm working on right now, and I have basically reviewed each and every team this season, going into the season. So we'll just have a look at the Mumbai squad and the predicted 11 and everything. We can discuss that. So let's have a look at the squad. Cool. Batsman, Rohit Sharma, Saurabh Tiwari, Chris Lynn. It's like an all-star team. I, there's nothing that much you can complain about over
They
here.
have
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
good experience also.
yeah,
Like all
good
of them
experience.
have
Also, all
played
of them
good
have,
enough games.
yeah,
Yeah.
all of them
Yeah.
have been champions. Most of them. There's no
Yeah.
lack of IPL champions there at all. There's
Yeah.
Ishan Kishan, Quinton de Kock. Keeping, they have three options. The
Yeah.
bowlers have multiple options. Uh, if I had to ask you guys to predict your 11s, how would that go based on this? Uh, Nihar.
Nihar, you know, go. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I think I'll just name the players who's definitely going to start. See, I mean, Rohit Sharma and Quinton de Kock are going to be there for sure. There's no question about that. Uh, I am not going to name Christian directly. I have a opinion that either they play a overseas batsman or an overseas bowler, and depending on which they want to strengthen. So if they go with Christian, they'll probably have to go with someone like Dhaval Kulkarni for bowling. And I am not personally a fan of that. I would rather have them play Nathan Coulter. So for now, I'm keeping Christian out of my side.
Okay.
So I'd rather have Rohit Sharma, Quinton de Kock open, and then followed by Surya Kumar Yadav. Then you have Ishan Kishan, and then you have the two Pandya brothers. Then you have Pollard, and then I would actually pick Nathan Coulter as the first bowler, followed by I think Bumrah's obviously a sure shot, followed by Rahul Chahar and Trent Bolt. Now the only way I think I could see some of them shifting is now, if Pollard doesn't bowl, I could see them looking at Krishna as an option. But given the legacy that Pollard has had with Mumbai, find it very hard that they're actually going to drop him irrespective of what happens. But I think that personally, that is one swap that I could see happening Christian for Pollard. But maybe if they want to go in on a very heavy batting lineup, they might go for Christian and not take Nathan Kundra and go for a local bowler in terms of Dhaval Kulkarni. But I think apart from that, the 8-9 players are short, and most of the season, if there's no other issue, you should see the playing 11 more or less the same.
Cool. Dishang?
I'm confused between the opening because I want like Rohit Sharma usually plays one down in
Yeah.
IPL.
Yeah.
He doesn't open in IPL.
He's not a. Yeah.
He anchors the innings
Yeah.
for Mumbai. Yeah.
Yeah. So Quinton de Kock for sure. For right, so if Ishan Kishan plays, then it's left, like lefty.
Yeah.
But for right and left combination, I would say Surya Kumar Yadav can also open
Right.
because
Yeah.
he has done, I think, for KKR or I don't know.
I
He
think
plays one
also
down.
Mumbai.
He's been a top order batsman. Yeah, middle order and top order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
Hmm.
opening.
So he can play as an opener also, Surya Kumar Yadav for right and left combination. Then Rohit Sharma, that's third. Then fourth, I think fourth Hardik Pandya should go because it will help him for Indian team also.
Yeah.
Just in case if we can pull him at fourth position, then obviously Kyron Polart, Krunal Pandya. Then I think that's five, right? 5 or 6.
Six.
Six.
If you mentioned Pandya brothers, Pollard, that's three over there.
Yeah, 6.
Surya Kumar Yadav,
Sharma.
Rohit and Kwok. Yeah.
And
the
6,
Kwok
yeah,
that's
6, right? So then Bumrah, Trent Bolt for sure. That's three foreigners.
Yeah, 3 foreigners for now.
Yeah, 3 are done.
So they can go for Mitch or they can go for Counter Nile.
Hmm.
Depends whatever the conditions are, because it will depend on the pitch also.
Yeah.
Because I think Dubai or Abu Dhabi is a bouncy pitch and rest two are like slow pitch. So there
Yeah,
won't
yeah.
be any high scoring pitches or matches. So yeah, I think Rahul Char will be there. Jayant Yadav, and they'll shift between Rahul Char and Jayant Yadav depending on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
team and
Which,
pitches.
yeah.
So
Rishabh,
yeah,
what do
that's
you
the
make
team.
of your 11 for Mumbai?
Again, as Dishank was talking about, the opening is what I'm a little iffy about. I
Yeah.
don't know who goes with Quinton de Kock. Should we send like Ishan Kishan or Chris Lynn? But I think for me, I think I would take Chris Lynn and Quinton de Kock to start off. I think they're a solid pair. Start the first 6 overs, and then Rohit Sharma might come in. Rohit Sharma comes in at third. I think fourth, Suryakant Yadav. Yadav's a good pick. Then I'd
Fair.
go with the Pandya brothers, Pollard, Chahar. I'd go with Bolt and Bumrah. It's an obvious. What a great
Duo
pick
to have.
Mumbai
Yeah.
has had.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are two of the, I think, top 5 best bowlers in the world,
Yeah.
and Mumbai has 2 of them.
Two of
This
them.
is like a trump card. Yeah. So I think Bolt and Bumrah, and again Chahar, I think will start, but of course they'll rotate depending on situation. But I
Yeah.
think my ideal 11 is definitely this.
What
So,
are your opinion on James Pattinson? Like he's played good in BBL.
like,
He's been taking good because he's been consistent there. So he can also sometimes like rotate
I
or
think
depends
it's
on
more
the
like to give rest to players, or if someone gets injured, he's
Yeah.
a good replacement. But I don't
Yeah,
see
but
him starting with all the
yeah
players that you already have.
true, because I think even if
yeah
one of the overseas fast bowler is given a rest, there's Mitchell McClenaghan who's probably
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
come in before
yeah
James Pattinson.
Mitchell
yeah
McClaren
So
is more like how Pollard has been in the all-rounder section. I
Yeah.
think he's
yeah,
like that in the bowler section. Someone like Malinga also.
yeah
But since Malinga is out now, and see,
yeah,
you look at the good side of it. Even though Malinga is not there, Mumbai is not much affected right now. They're like, ठीक है,
Mhm.
गया तो
yeah
गया. We have no issues. We have players who can replace him. So I mean,
but you have
putting
never but if you see whenever Malinga has not played or not played well, Mumbai Indians have not
yeah,
been in top four.
Yeah.
Like they're almost on fourth or fifth position.
yeah. I think
Hmm.
it's more like how Dhoni treats Piyush Chawla, Mumbai treats Lasat Malinga like that. So
no, but
I
I
had my own predictions as well for the 11,
yeah,
and like the way
okay.
I went about it was I saw the whole squad, and I've always noticed that Mumbai is one team who's rich with all rounders, like quality all rounders,
Mhm.
not
Yes.
just, and all of them are basically players who can bat and bowl. None of them is like a batting all rounder or a bowling all rounder.
Yeah.
Like Krunal Pandya
Mhm.
might would have started as a bowling all rounder. Eventually, he turned into a
Yeah,
equal all rounder.
All rounder. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah
proper all rounder and good fielders also, all of them. So I think I would go with Krislin and Quinton de Kock to open. Someone like Surya Kumar Yadav to come out at number 3. Like Rohit Sharma and Surya Kumar Yadav are going to switch depending on how early the first wicket falls. So
Yeah.
to anchor the innings and to make sure that the team reaches a perfect total, or while chasing also, like they might differ. Like Rohit Sharma said this before, that if I open, there's no one down the order to balance the ship, and if my wicket goes away. So I think that's a very smart play there, and he stuck to that throughout the last 3-4 seasons, even though he opens for India. I think I would go with, after that, the 3 all-rounders after Rohit Sharma and Surya Kumar Yadav. That's Pollard,
Mhm.
Krunal, and Hardik. Post that, I think it's easy. Trent Bolt, Bumrah, again Jayant Yadav and Deepak Chahar will keep rotating depending on the if the other team has more right-handers or left-handers. Because Jayant Yadav with his I think he's a leg spinner. Sorry, left arm spinner.
Left arm off.
Yeah.
yeah
Hmm.
So left arm against the right arm would be a good option, and like leg spinners are good
yeah
against left-handers. So I think that
Hmm.
would be something that they would be looking at. Otherwise, great squad. If you know in the wildest possibilities, if Bolt doesn't perform, they already have McLaren and Coltonile
Yeah.
and Pattinson
Yeah.
ready, up
yeah
their ranks. But with Chrislin looking a little shaky, there was speculation that he might not come.
Mm.
There's
yeah
a possibility that they might play Ishan Kishan or Aditya Tare also, because Tare has proven his worth before as well. So
Yeah.
I think that's a
Yeah.
good squad to have. I think probably the best squads in IPL this season. Chennai has lost out on Raina, so they dropped down in my own ranking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd
Yeah.
rank them at first. I don't know if they'll go on to win the championship, but definitely they'll end the season before the playoffs at first rank. And the ranking that I have for them is 9 on 10 for the squad. So on that note, what do you guys rank Mumbai at? Like, what do you think whether Indian squad will end up? Nihar?
True. I mean, it's really easy to give them a 9 without even giving it a thought because, I mean, they just have it all. I mean, they have batsmen to score runs. They have bowlers. They have replacements for bowlers. I just think
Yeah.
it's about finding the ideal combination from them in the
Right.
beginning, whether they want to go with an overseas bowler or Chrislin. And I think once they figure that out and get into a rhythm, I think they should be the team to beat. And I would also go with the 9 on 10. Given the only 1 point is because they're going to have a tough time choosing the overseas final player. So I think the only reason why. But otherwise, a 9 on 10 sounds pretty solid.
What about the ranking? Where do you think they'll finish?
I would expect them to win the championship. I mean, they are looking like a great squad.
Yeah.
They've performed well. They've retained their cone last season. And of course, I would expect them to go and win the title.
What about the odd even numbers? So basically,
I was,
it's 2020. It's 2020. It
yeah.
doesn't seem like Mumbai is here. This is where
True,
Mumbai
but I
doesn't
mean,
even qualify for the playoffs.
true, but I mean, 2020 has been such a year. You never know.
Yeah.
Mumbai might just end up winning.
Fair enough. Dishang, what do you think?
I'd same as Nihar said, like 9 out of 10, and same for combination. If they pick proper combination, then I'm not sure about winning, but I think they'll go till finals. That's
Okay.
for sure. Yeah.
That's a great thing. I mean, the problem with Mumbai is they'll buy all the players that they want, okay? They'll never play them.
And they won't
I've noticed
let
this.
them play.
You remember Maxwell? Maxwell didn't play the
Yeah.
whole season. He
Yeah,
only
yeah.
played 2 games.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like
yeah,
Mumbai
yeah.
still won that tournament. And it was shocking that they went with like all the other, they went with Franklin out of all people. Then the Corey Anderson saga. When they had Corey
Yeah, yeah.
Anderson, he came in one match and he played. Like they just know,
Yeah,
okay,
he played
this
the
person is,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yuvraj Singh. Yeah,
Yuvraj
Yuvraj
Singh.
Singh also
Yuvraj
last
Singh.
year.
Yeah.
So hyped up, and then like no game he khilaya, and then bye bye.
See, this is the thing I was also telling Arhaan before, that Mumbai has a different level of privilege
Yeah.
where they
Yeah.
buy all these players and they're like, it's fine, we won't select you. And the other teams are just crying out, हमें कुछ तो दे दो.
मतलब तुमने तो
That's
चलाया नहीं,
the
हम लेते तो खिला भी देते यार कब
it's been 6 months as a pandemic. Global cricket has been like on a limited scale. There are some things that are
Yeah.
going on. Some countries are taking part, like England and Pakistan, England and Ireland. England majorly has been,
Yeah.
organizing these tournaments. There's been CPL as well. But still, for the Indian players, it's a different thing, because after 6 months coming back, playing in not even in India, now in UAE, on a different track, on a different country, which team do you think has it in them to hit the ground running and they're going to start off, well, and they're not going to be as rusty as the others?
I think the only reason I would say, I think probably Rajasthan is because they have some England players. But again, with Stokes, not a certainty, I again find that advantage a little off. But I think probably that, and probably maybe Sunrisers because Warner's been playing a little, Australia and England have played. But I think more or less, I think since every team is going to have 7 players who have not played for the past 6-7 months, should be an even struggle to call it that. But if
Yeah.
I had to, I would say I think maybe Rajasthan and Sunrisers a bit.
Dishang?
Yeah. I will also go Sunrisers. Also, I feel Delhi because Ricky Ponting. Because training them mentally would be more than physically also. Like if they are
Yeah.
good here, then I think on field they'll show. Even if they don't win, they'll perform well. I think Delhi, SRH. Mumbai, I would say, because of same for coaching staff, it will all depend on the back end and coaching staff,
Yeah.
how well they're training the players mentally. Physically, so everyone is active, but
Yeah.
mostly weights,
Mental,
not cricket. Yeah, it will
Yeah.
be more of mental game. Like if they play well, even if they feel good on the pitch, then slowly they'll start and build on the momentum.
Ricky Ponting was also the first coach who helped Mumbai deliver a trophy finally in 2013. And that was mid-season.
Ricky
Like he resigned from
He
captaincy
was a
and
player, yeah, he was playing
yeah,
for the first time.
Yeah.
It's Ricky Ponting. Yeah.
That's Ricky Ponting for you. I mean, there's a lot to expect from
Yeah.
Delhi. I mean, all the four teams: Delhi, KKR, Chennai, and Mumbai. Like KKR, as you look at Brendan McCallum as the coach, and
Yeah.
the explosive players that they have up there squad. I
Yeah.
was doing the review and I was like, shit, this team like looks pretty darn good this season, and like you can expect a lot from them. It's
Also,
like
Pat Cummins, dude. They got
yeah, Pat
Pat
Cummins,
Cummins. What a great coup. Yeah.
Amazing guy.
Dinesh
Yeah.
Karthik, all of those players, brilliant.
So I think I would give them an extra 2 points just for Russell. I mean, he's just single-handedly won them games in the
Bro,
past 2 seasons.
Russell.
He can just win
Yeah,
games out of
yeah.
nowhere. So,
Yeah. Okay, cool. Then we'll move to the last segment. And so this segment is basically called Super Over, where we have 3 questions for you all. We'll just get right into it. So basically, the first question is, what is the one thing about Mumbai Indians that you as fans don't like, or you find overrated, or maybe you have like an unpopular opinion that not other Mumbai fans agree with, something along those lines?
Oh, it's a tough.
See, you can also say that there's nothing overrated like the Delhi fans.
But then at
They
the end
were,
of it,
they were, they were very confident. They're like, no, nothing is wrong with Delhi. Delhi is all good.
see, I think again going into the Delhi fans direction, I don't see anything that's wrong with Mumbai Indians. The only thing I think could be a factor is their consistency, which has been the case for the past 7 years. If they're consistent enough, I don't think there's any jinx in their armor that's going to stop them from at least getting to the playoffs. That's for sure. So I would actually say that there's nothing really overrated that Mumbai is. It is that strong a team.
Fair enough. I wish I had something to tell you to counter, but I honestly don't. It's a fair point, really.
surprisingly, I do. Like I have 2 points.
Okay.
One I mentioned
Right.
already, which was Mumbai not playing good players. The other one being
Yeah.
that slow starts. Uh, they
Yeah,
need
I was going
to,
to come to that
yeah,
one. It's
yeah. I'll give
annoying. Like, play that. Play one match, win one match, one of your first 2 or 3 matches.
yeah,
Just give your fans something, yeah.
yeah.
I
And the
think
other
I
thing,
have one point. I think Kyron Polart has not been the most consistent player so far. I actually wanted to see him being subbed off for Ben Cutting last season. And I actually, the same reason I said I would want maybe Christian to come in. But I know Mumbai Indians are not going to drop him because of the
Yeah.
player. And I mean, it's a fair point. He has delivered in the big matches for them.
Yeah.
But I think that's the only thing I would say that's a little controversial in Mumbai Indians is maybe Pollard, in my opinion, is not as consistently been performing as he should have. But that's the only thing.
But this year he's performing in CPL or something. He's
Yeah,
performed well, I
think
think.
he has.
Rushabh
Yeah.
will know. Rushabh will know.
CPL, if you have
CPL,
any
man.
doubts, talk to me, guys.
Yeah.
I
What do you
know.
want to?
I got the news.
Yeah. But yeah, he has been performing. Of course, he's not been at his explosive best,
Yeah.
but
But
he has
he's a
been pretty
big
good.
match player.
Yeah.
He's a big match player. He can win you games.
And
He's a leader.
Yeah,
He's
and in
more than anything,
Mumbai,
he's a leader. Yeah.
yeah, in Mumbai also he helps, like he's around, so people feel good around him for his nature also, and West Indies player are
His
good.
energy, I think, is infectious that way, and I think that will trump his performance also in a way. It's good to have someone like him in the team, regardless of his good performances. I think that
No, plus
works.
I think he's the best fielder on the pitch. I think
No doubt.
even
yeah.
with Pandya there, I think he's by far the best fielder Mumbai have.
Yeah.
So I think it's a valid point to not even think about.
Plus, it's like if he
And-
gets
and-
going, there's no stopping him with bowling and batting. Fielding, to hai guaranteed, but like I remember this one
Dude,
match against CSK where he got 3 simple chances. Like one was just
Yeah.
received.
I remember, yeah.
He
The
dropped
opening
all 3.
over, actually.
He dropped
The
all
first
3.
over,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then the 4th chance, final chance, he had to dive and he caught that. What he dropped.
पैसा खिलाया
Yeah. Then came
अंबानी
the
का भाई का
paisa.
पैसा. Yeah, annoying thing, bro. This thing is annoying to me. Like, you can't fix a match, yaar. You can fix a moment, or you can fix a player or an over or some, like, हाँ चल तू run कम बना. You won't take wicket. You won't bowl well enough against some player, but you can't fix
No, I
a
mean,
match like.
The whole match, they're just like, हाँ, कर लो,
Dude,
आ
the
जाओ.
match
हर
was
साल का
the
हो गया है.
that tournament is fixed. And
Yeah,
I just had such a
tournament
huge
is
issue
fixed.
against that. Being a purist cricket fan, I just don't see that, players are just going to fix matches like that. It really annoys me when
Yeah.
people just say,
Yeah.
yes, we match fixing, hai, pata hai kya hone wala hai." I think that's not fair. I mean, all of them are really performing and they deserve to win.
The
Yeah.
hard working,
Yeah.
like profession, the fucking
Yeah,
hard
yeah.
working. Like, you can't. Yeah, if you're not
It's-
100%, you won't. Yeah.
It's funny how we sit in front of the TV and we're like, hey, I could do that, dude. If you could do that, you'd be there. No. It's that simple.
You have to roast one team or multiple teams in the IPL. Go.
आ जाओ, मैं
आ
रेडी
जाओ,
हूँ.
आ जाओ.
चलो, शुरू करो. RCB क्या है?
Rajasthan,
कुछ
RCB,
नहीं है.
Delhi, Chennai, anyone,
कुछ
कुछ
नहीं
भी.
है.
Uh,
See, I mean, I think the first thing that comes to my mind is RCB really give a lot of money for finishing last in the table every season. I think that's that's the most classic thing I have because I just see them getting these players. I have absolutely no idea how they do it, how they don't manage to finish in the top every season. But they have the best talent for just finishing last every season. I think that's one.
Fair
And I
point.
think
Fair point.
one I have is I think it's
Good roast.
unfortunate how Rajasthan and Punjab are very rarely even considered to be a part of
Yeah.
the playoffs. I mean,
They're like outcasts. It's sad in a way
Yeah.
where you are like IPL there are 8 teams, but in our head we're like 6 team है. ये दोनों पता नहीं क्या करते हैं हर season.
Yeah,
But
it's
eight,
like,
they won't be
seven.
last.
Yeah.
They won't be last. They'll be in middle somewhere, like midfield team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
हाँ,
They'll
हाँ.
play
वो
somewhere.
mid
They'll be
table
a
team है
spoiler.
वो.
Yeah. The spoiler
think-
sport खेलेंगे किसी और team के लिए, and then
like you
And
you
the
see
thing
all
is, they
captains.
have good squads also, dude. Like Rajasthan ka bhi squad, it's pretty good. It's not a bad one by any stretch
Yeah.
of the imagination. They have Joss Butler, they have Ben Stokes, they have Jofra Archer, if I'm not wrong. Even Punjab, Rahul, Gale,
Punjab
good
is
squads.
also good. Yeah.
But I don't know. They never seem to like turn up
Yeah.
in any of the tournaments.
Yeah.
The thing
A
is, so
midfield team.
basically, you had those parties where there are like 8 people, and then they make plans, and then out of which there are 2 people who you don't want. So you just say, "हम सब जाएंगे." But when you remove the car, there's only 6 places, and only 6 people get inside. So 2 are left out. So that's I think
They're just standing there.
Rajasthan and Punjab. Oh, sorry, next time.
Oh shit. चलो राजस्थान और पंजाब की भी ले लिए. We'll move on to the next one now. So this question again. I'm sure that y'all are Mumbai fans. That's pretty evident. You have such a great team. We've spoken about that as well. But I'm sure that there are these players that you like, as cricketers, but they play for these other teams in the IPL. So, which is this one player that if you could bring to Mumbai Indians, who is that one player from the IPL that you would want to integrate into this Mumbai squad?
Indian or like foreign
Any-
player?
Any player.
Oh, it's a big pool.
Yeah. Made it even more harder for y'all to
Yeah.
pick a player.
see, I mean, I'm not considering AB and Kohli because I think that's an obvious choice. But I think I am personally a huge fan of Prithvi Shaw, and I think he would be a huge answer to Mumbai Indians opening wars in terms that he's a Indian batsman, so that takes away selecting a foreign batsman. And of course, I mean, I just love watching him play. And even though I think he's given away his wicket, he's still young. I mean, it's easy to say that he's not performing, but you look at him play, and anyone who's really played cricket or understands cricket will know that he is a phenomenal batsman. The way he plays, that he can become the next big thing. So I think I would say Prithvi Shaw in
A
Mumbai.
very tactical call. Like I
Yeah.
generally people say, okay, I like this player, that's why I would want. This
It's
is
usually
like,
an emotional thing where you're like, I like this player, I want him to play for my team.
like previous
Nice.
podcast, someone said
I
Dhoni.
mean,
Like in
Yeah. For
We
Delhi,
have a
he wants
team, so we
Dhoni.
don't.
That's also there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair point.
I was also gonna go for an opening player like KL Rahul or Shubman Gill.
Yeah, it's good
Like
call.
someone new.
Good call.
Yeah, someone new and someone who can, or someone experienced. Rest, I don't think so. emotionally also, there's no one heart.
think
I mean, we are
probably-
already emotionally attached to the players that are there.
Yeah.
See,
I mean,
this is what annoys me as not being an like Mumbai fan. You don't. I'm giving you an option. Pick anyone, and you're like, नहीं ठीक है राहुल ठीक है शॉ ले लेंगे अपना टीम ठीक है. ये क्या बात हुई?
जमीन की चाहत में हम डंडे उड़ा